kickable. Hello everyone, and welcome to my year-end, not really, this is kind of late that I'm getting this out, sorry about this. This is my video showing you every vinyl record that I got in the year of 2024. Last year in February that I put that video out, something like that, January, I forget exactly, I showed you my entire record collection up till 2023, through 2023, and then this video today that you are watching right now is every vinyl record that I bought in the year 2024. So, without further ado, let's just jump into it! I'm sorry about that. And also real quick, it'll be the exact same rules as the last video where if it's just a standard black pressing, I won't even bring up the color of it. It'll just be implied, hey, this is a black pressing. You should just understand that because I'm not saying anything about the color of it. But of course, if it is a colored pressing, I will bring it up and you will see it on screen. Cool. That was a terrible snap. Cool. Hey, so I'm currently editing and I just have to say real quick that I promise you, I am aware that I say the word nice a lot in this video. I was going to do a joke where I put up a little nice counter in the corner, but I say it way too much. I'm not gonna even try doing that, so don't comment about my usage of the word nice. Okay, bye. So, first up, we have this 7-inch Beatles record that I got at a record store in... where was I? I don't even know anymore. But point is, I was at a record store in another state because it was a little trip I was on. And this is Hey Jude, that's like the main track on here. And on the back, we have Revolution. Not to be confused with Revolution 9 or Revolution 1, actually. Yeah, this is like the... I'm pretty sure this is... No, yeah, this is literally just the single version. Okay, cool, we're good. We're good. The Beatles really loved their Revolution, so what can I say? Next up, I have one of my most favorite albums of last year. This is Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish. And this is on a very nice kind of marbled blue, and it looks very nice and sounds great too. This is probably my favorite Billie Eilish album, to be quite honest, and I'm very glad to have it in my collection. Oh, also real quick, fun little story, not fun for me, but fun little story about when I got this album. When the album dropped, Billie kind of surprise signed a bunch of records that she sent to record stores around the country, and one of them was my local record store, and I thought I would get one because that local record store hadn't posted about it at all on social media yet, and so I was like, okay, cool, because I found out through like Billie's website or whatever where it was like kind of discreetly posted, and then I got to the record store, there was already a decent line even though they still hadn't posted about it, and then we got in, I got near the front of the line, finally, and like 3 people in front of me, it was gone, and that sucked. Because that record store is like 40 minutes away from my house, so that was a drive for almost nothing. I mean, I picked up the album though, so not all for nothing, I guess. Next up here, we have a very rare one. I found it at the perfect time, really. This is Violent Things, as you can see here, by the Brobecks, which is Dallin Week's band before I Don't Know How But They Found Me, and also before he was in Panic, I think. I don't know all the details, but yeah. And this like never gets pressed, like it was pressed, I don't even know how many years ago, and all of a sudden Dallin posted like on one of his Instagram pages being like, hey, there's gonna be a restock of this record in like a couple days, and I was there at the perfect time because it sold out in like 10 minutes. So I'm very glad to have this because it sells for so much, and I'm glad that I got it for a normal price. And this one is on a very nice clear blue vinyl, and also I would like to add that this is a very interesting record jacket because as you can see here on the side, there's no name. Can you see that? Yeah, there's literally nothing there. So you just have to you just have to sift through your records and just know that that's what it is. So yeah. So surprisingly, I don't actually have the whole next album that this next 7-inch single is from because in my opinion, it's actually really underrated for such a big pop album. But anyway, this is the 7-inch single for Houdini by Dua Lipa. Absolutely one of the best pop songs of last year. Oh, and something cool about it is that each one was stamped. Like that's not just like printed on all of these. It's like stamped by whoever was putting that together. And this one is on a very nice clear 7-inch single, which I feel like usually when it comes to these 7-inch singles, they're never really colored, so it's always nice to have one that looks as nice as this one. Next up, I have Persona by Half Alive, and this one is one where, I'm not even gonna lie to you, this is the reason that the main reason, I should say, because procrastination is one, that it took me a while to start filming this video, because this one was one that I ordered back in like September or something like that, whenever they announced the album, and it finally came like a couple weeks ago, so that's great. But anyway, as you can see here, it is one of the few signed here, and I believe this is one of 500 if I'm not mistaken. And another nice thing is that this record is on a very nice opaque blue vinyl, and oh my gosh, I cannot even exaggerate how amazing this record sounds. It is one of the nicest sounding ones in my collection, not a pop or crackle in sight. And this is probably my favorite Half Alive album at this point. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I've been kind of holding back from saying that for a while, but yeah, this is like my favorite Half Alive album. It is so incredibly tight and good, and I love it. Next up is a record that helped me complete a solo artist discography. Finally, this is Fine Line by Harry Styles, one of his best, but also, genuinely, I love all three of his albums. If anything, this might be my least favorite, maybe, which is crazy. Like this, looking at the track list right here, I'm like, this is such a great album. But yeah, this is on a very, very cool clear with black and white splatter vinyl, which is kind of crazy considering this is, from what I can tell at least, like the most common pressing of this album, like the most common variant. And it looks and sounds absolutely incredible. Another truly great sounding record. Oh, hi there. Welcome back, Down Weeks. This is Gloom Division by I don't know how, but they found me. Their second album. I say there, it's his second album because this is the first one where he's doing it solo. He was in Panic, and now he is basically currently what Panic became in their last few years. But anyway, this one is on a very nice black and gray smoke vinyl, and it looks very nice. This was one of, I forget how many, but it was limited. Trust me, it was limited. And it sounds great. And another thing about this album is the fact that there's a bunch of stuff that is not included on like the digital releases that you would find on like Spotify, Apple Music, or any of that stuff, and it's very cool. There's even kind of like a full song in between somewhere here. I don't remember exactly where, but yeah, it's kind of cool because it's not listed and it pops up and it's like, oh, this is fun. You know, he's having a great time, and therefore I am having a great time. Next up we have The Fabelman soundtrack by John Williams. This is one that I just had to pick up when I saw it because, of course, as you know, I love the movie. It is so good, and the soundtrack is great as well. And also, something cool about this, I found it sitting in like the used record section, and I was like, why? Especially because, as you can see here, can you see that? I don't even know. It is numbered. It is numbered. That is crazy, and makes it much cooler to own. So yeah, I love this, and it is also on a very nice kind of snow white marbled vinyl. At least that's what it's like officially called. I don't know why it's snow white, but nonetheless, it kind of makes sense for the look of it. So there you have it. Next up, we have one of my favorite indie movie soundtracks. This is music from the motion picture Juno. Here we have something I've been waiting to add to my collection for a while. This is Journals by Justin Bieber, one of his best albums that's not even really officially considered an album. It's like considered like a compilation album because he put out like most of the songs as singles beforehand leading up to it. And so yeah, his label, whatever. You look up the drummer yourself, okay? But nonetheless, this is absolutely one of my favorites. Like, this is like a top 3. And I know there's gonna be people who are like,
oh, you have a top 3? There's 2 Justin Bieber albums you like more than this one that you highly regard?
Shut up! But yeah, this one usually sells for a lot, and I saw it like, oh, someone's reselling it for like 20 bucks. Perfect, I will buy it. Thank you! Here we have the EPs by Knox. This includes his first and second EP. Who would have guessed? On the first side, you got... Why did I do that? On the first side, you got How to Lose a Girl in 7 Songs, and on the second side, you have I'm So Good at Being Alone. I'm not gonna lie, I still don't know why there's a question mark on the end, because the actual song does not have a question mark. What is going on, Knox? But nonetheless, this is on orange vinyl. After years of trying to find this for a decent price because the band refuses to repress it, I finally have my favorite Laney album, Malibu Nights, and this one is on clear vinyl. Okay, anyway. This next one has to be one of the craziest ones I have when it comes to packaging. This is Leve. The artist is Leve. The album is Bewitched, the Goddess Edition. And what's so crazy about this is, first of all, as you can see here, it's kind of thick. I don't know if you can fully tell, but yeah, it's a bit thick there because not only does it have to fit 2 records in here, no, it's not even a gatefold, but nonetheless, it fits 2 records in here, and also a board game. Oh, there go the pieces, I guess. But yeah, this is a board game, as you can see here. Cool. It's Chutes and Ladders, but it's cool. And I haven't played it yet, as you can see here, because I still haven't taken out the little pieces that you would use there. So yeah, but honestly, that's such a cool addition to make. It's so random, but I kind of love it. There go the pieces all over again. And oh my goodness, I almost forgot to mention that this is on a very nice navy blue. And next up here, speaking of Leve, we also have this, which is a very Leve holiday, the Christmas Waltz edition. She released like a couple versions of this, I think just one other. But point is, I kind of wish that she just did a full EP of all of them, because I was like, I don't really want to buy 2 7-inches just for 4 songs. I mean, that's what they are, but you know what I mean? And so I had to make a hard decision and pick my favorite, and I picked this one because her rendition of the Christmas Waltz is very nice, and also it includes her duet with Dodie, Love to Keep Me Warm. And keeping up the trend of nice-looking 7-inch records, this one is green. Alright, so this next record is somewhat ridiculous, depending on who you are talking to about it, but this is the Lemonade Mouth soundtrack, and it's especially nice because this one is pressed on what you would call a lemonade colored vinyl. I guess technically it's called like black and yellow cornetto, but who wants to say that? It's lemonade colored. Next up, we got a Record Store Day exclusive, also a 7-inch. This is Lacey / Stick Season, or the other way around. It's Olivia Rodrigo and Noah Kahan singing each other's songs, and they both give very good renditions of each other's songs, as you would expect. And this one is on a very interesting mauve colored vinyl. I looked it up, that's what it's called, I guess. To me, it's gray, but I guess it's mauve. There you have it. And conveniently, speaking of Record Store Day exclusives, Paramore covering Burning Down the House by the Talking Heads, which is such a great cover that maybe this is blasphemous to say to some people, I like better than the original. And then in the spirit of fairness, on the other side, we have David Byrne covering Hard Times by Paramore. Also very good, although not as good as the original. But nonetheless, great either way. Okay, Talking Heads is good. I saw Stop Making Sense. Thanks, Dave. That's a good movie. Yeah. And this one is on a very interesting white translucent vinyl. Oh, and conveniently, and also surprisingly unplanned, my friend Dave got me 2 records for Christmas. You'll see the other one later. But the first one here is Riot by Paramore. One of their best, but at the same time, I could easily say that about literally all of their albums, to be quite honest. Except for All We Know Is Following, although that one's good. But it's like,
that was your first album.
And this one is pressed on silver vinyl. As you may know, or not know, because I don't know if I've mentioned it on YouTube at all, but I love Post Malone. And surprisingly, this is the very first album of his I've ever gotten on vinyl. This is, of course, F1 Trillion. I don't usually consider myself like a lover of the genre that is country, but this guy knows how to make it great, and it feels so authentic, and I love it. And this one is on light green. Next up, I got 2 records from the indie band Remo Drive. This is Mercy, which might be one of my favorites from them, to be honest. It is so, so good, and I played it again when I got this record, and I'm like, wow, this is so underappreciated, it's crazy. But nonetheless, this one is on what they call a Coke bottle clear. And then on the opposite side of the spectrum, we have Early Works, which is one they put out at the end of last year, which is basically their first EP as Remo Drive, and then I believe like a couple different singles that come after that they kind of put out for whatever else. They were putting out music at the time just to put it out. And this record contains all of that, and it's very Midwest emo, and it's very good. And this one is on the absolute coolest looking blue swirl. Next up, I got 2 records from Sabrina Carpenter, the first being her latest album, Short and Sweet, which is on a nice marbled light sky blue. And secondly, I was finally able to snag a copy of her Christmas EP, Fruitcake, which honestly, I wish that she would extend upon into like a full album. That would be amazing, but nonetheless, it's good, and I was able to finally snag it because it was out last year and I didn't buy it, and it sold out within hours, surprisingly.
And this was before Espresso, which is crazy.
But nonetheless, she finally restocked it around the holiday season last year, so I finally picked it up, and to fit the Christmas spirit, this one is on green vinyl. I'm not even gonna lie to you, this next one is already one of my most treasured records ever. It is the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, music from the movie and more. Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, funny little thing here. You see the movie credits at the very bottom there? That is for the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. Don't know how they made that mistake, but it'll be funny if they repress it because it'll then be correct, I'm sure. So this one is probably going to sell for a lot later, and that's great. So I love it. And this one is on an absolutely perfect, beautiful, clear with yellow and pink splatter vinyl. Oh, it's so good. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love that little square dude. I love it.
Was a man. Okay.
My most sincerest apologies to the Swiftie purist out there, but I am also kind of a Swiftie purist in a different way. I got Red by Taylor Swift, the definitive version.
Sorry!
But just so everyone knows, I was supporting a local record store. I am justified in this! Next up is a record that I thought would never get pressed ever because it is still to this day not on streaming services, but for the 10-year anniversary of it, Tessa Violet pressed Maybe Trapped, Mostly Trouble on vinyl. So this is basically the only legal way you can listen to this, I guess. And this one is on purple vinyl. Next up, we got a few records by none other than 21 Pilots. First off, we have the Trench Triplet EP, which includes the initial lead singles from that album. We got Jumpsuit, Levitate, and Nico and the Niners. Fun fact, I found this at the same exact place that I found the Beatles' Hey Jude 7-inch single, and I was like, of course I have to get this. Why would I not? I found it out in the wild. How can I pass that up? And this one is on a kind of clear 10-inch yellow vinyl. And then, of course, here we have the main event of last year, their album Clancy, my album of the year, personally. It is so good. My third favorite album of theirs overall. And this one is on a very cool Spotify exclusive red with yellow splatter. And lastly, something that I'm sure many people will envy me for, I have their final song of last year, The Line. 7-inch single. It sold out so quick, I can't believe I actually got it, because I remember when it first dropped on the website, it was like, what, 20 bucks, something like that? I forget, and a lot of people were like, oh, that's too much for just a 7-inch single. That's like, you could get a normal record for that price. And now it resells for like $300 on Discogs, so I made a great choice buying this. Not to rub it in or anything, sorry about those who couldn't get this, but yeah, anyway. And then in true 21 Pilot style, this one is pressed on a canary yellow vinyl. At the end of last year, I obtained an absolute Christmas classic. This is a Charlie Brown Christmas by the Vince Guaraldi Trio. Of course, I've always known the music from the TV special. I watch it nearly every year, but I'd never actually heard the soundtrack in full before until I got this. And boy, not only does, of course, the record sounds fantastic, but the music itself, oh my lord, it is a classic for a reason, and this is really an essential album to own in my opinion, and I'm glad that I finally own it. And this one in particular is on a translucent green vinyl. The Christmas records that I got love green, what can I say? Next up, I have two records from a band that you will instantly recognize, and I'll just say the first record I'm about to show you is the second record that my friend Dave gave me for Christmas. So, there you have it. Very nice to finally own this album, not just because it's kind of memey, but also it's classic for a reason. It's one of their best, I'm not gonna lie. It's not their best in my opinion. Their best is the other one that I got, which is Everything Will Be Alright in the End. Very, very good. People need to appreciate this album more when they talk about Weezer. Although I think a lot of people do, but nonetheless, just in the general consensus, people are like, oh, blues good and then nothing else. No, this is a masterpiece. I'm just gonna say it right now. Very good. And last, but most certainly not least, I have something that took absolutely forever to arrive. I ordered it at the beginning of 2024, and I don't think I got it until July, maybe? I don't know, man. This thing got delayed so many times, but point is, this is the Wonka soundtrack, and it is glorious. This has like the score on it, of course, but also what I'm really here for, the main musical songs, which are so, so good. Here we go, right here. Here's a gatefold. Oh, hello, Timmy. What's up, buddy? And and I'll bring up the actual records in a second, but firstly, I have to point out this thing right here. It's a little credits booklet that is shaped like a chocolate bar, and oh my gosh, it still smells exactly like so strongly like a chocolate bar. Oh my gosh, it is like, it's incredible. It's incredible. It's peak. It's peak. I'm being so ridiculous right now, but oh man, this is such a great, I'm so glad I own this. And then quickly, I would like to bring up the fact that before you can even get to that main record jacket I showed you, it came in this wrapping right here. And I don't know what to do with it, because, I mean, once you unwrap it, it's kind of like, it's a bit much to, like, tape it back together and whatnot, because, I mean, you can if you want, but it's just like, kind of ridiculous to do that. So I've just been keeping this sitting nicely right next to my record player right over there, and yeah, that was the most limited edition variant of that record, and I'm very glad I got it. It was so worth the extra 10 bucks. And I've already named so many amazing things about this release, but man, I gotta tell you right now, it's a double LP, and the first record is pressed on an absolutely amazing looking milk chocolate swirl record, and the second record is pressed on what they call an orange swirl, which also looks absolutely fantastic. And it sounds great, and I love this soundtrack, and I love this movie, and y'all need to stop paying it dust. People need to appreciate this movie more and the soundtrack because it is so good, and this is what musicals should be in the modern day. That's all I'm gonna say. That concludes every record I got in the year 2024, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it if you made it this far. I hope this video doesn't end up being as long as my previous record collection video where I showed off every record that is not in this video that I own. That was a long video. So with that, thank you so much for watching this video. Much appreciated. I will probably end up seeing you sometime around this time next year for every record that I got in the year 2025. So we'll see how that goes. Once again, thank you so much for watching, everybody. And with that, say Ferris.